Welcome to another edition of our WSBS Saturday Morning Chat, and our next guest is no stranger to our airwaves. We've had Raina Smith on numerous times, and she has returned to the fold because a brand new book is on the shelves as we speak, and I'm excited to hear about this, and I know you are too. Good morning to Raina.
Good morning, Ron. Thank you so much for having me. You make me feel so happy to hear you promote my book like that. Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I mean, Thy Kingdom Come is the title. It's the final installment of your 13th Apostle trilogy. Now, it's out at shelves all over the place online, and tell me how you managed to complete this series as this finally came to fruition.
Well, it certainly took many, many years. I've been writing this series since 2003, so I've been at it for 16 years. I put the first book out December of 2010. So really, I've been writing and writing and writing for 16 years. There were certainly times when I thought I wasn't sure I could complete the series, but after the first book came out and received a lot of praise from readers, and I heard how much they loved the first book, the story sort of ended on a cliffhanger. I wrote the sequel, Divine Providence, which received a lot of great attention. And then, believe it or not, I actually wrote the end of the third book, Thy Kingdom Come, about 5 years ago, even though I was working on, I think the first or second book at the time, I knew what the end would be, so I drafted the final chapter, and I just sort of had to work for years and years and years to bring the story to that point. So it feels wonderful to finally have the trilogy complete. It was a lot of work, a lot of dedication, giving up, saying no to parties, saying no to, maybe going out when I wanted to so that I could achieve this goal.
Well, this is a much better scenario, if you ask me. You were communing with your thoughts. You had a mission to finish up this trifecta of novels, and eventually it finally came to pass. So now you're going to be reaping the benefits on this, because folks are going to be stopping over at book signings and saying, boy, I can't wait to read this, and maybe those who already had a chance to read a sample or two of the trilogy, the final installment, they say, yeah, what I'm reading is pretty cool. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's all your hard work is finally paying off.
I know, it really is. And the greatest payoff is hearing what readers have to say. One loyal reader, Karen, she reached out to me last night. Mm-hmm. She finished Thy Kingdom Come. I think she was the first to buy it, the first to read it, aside from my editor. And she said she had tears in her eyes. She really loved the 13th Apostle and Divine Providence. And when she finished this one, she said she absolutely loved it. She had tears in her eyes. And she was upset because she now really had to say goodbye to all the characters, the good characters, the evil characters. She'd come to love all of them. And she didn't want to say goodbye to them. And we talked about, I quizzed her on every scene. What did you think of this or that or this? The unique characters in the third book, which is set in hell. And we talked about it, and she said, how do you, as the author, say goodbye to these characters? I love them as the reader. How do you let go of them? And, we talked about that. Mm-hmm. So it was so great to hear from, at least one reader so far what they thought of the entire work.
All right, so set this up for us over here. I mean, am I right to hear that this final installment of your trilogy takes place in H-E-double-L?
It does. As we see in the end of Divine Providence, the main character, Fallon, condemns her soul to hell. She does something that guarantees her entry to hell. I won't tell you what it is. You have to read the book.
No, you can't spoil anything over here. You can't spoil anything.
Right. So she winds up in hell, and she's actually searching for her brother, who she knows went to hell. So when she gets down there, she's surprised because she expects fire and brimstone and, people being tortured and just true horror. But when she's down there, she realizes it's nothing like that. It's quite beautiful as she sort of walks along like an Irish countryside along the ocean, and and she meets different people throughout history that had done terrible things that she could never imagine coming face to face with, let alone speak with. For instance, she meets Judas, and who she could never imagine meeting, and she gets to speak with him and ask him, why would you have ever done what you did?
Mm-hmm.
She meets other characters, some of the people are, real life people that we've read about in history books, and she gets to ask them why they did what they did, and from that, she gathers information about what hell really is, and it's not necessarily what she thought it was. So through that, she tries to use that information to save her brother Rourke and get him out of hell. So it's a really unique take on hell. It's stunningly beautiful. There's amazing artwork, incredible music, and landscape, and it's cool to see Fallon interview all these people about why they're in hell and what they did to get themselves there.
All right, this is my quick question. Has Fallon already dearly departed, or is she still alive on this quest?
Well, she's gone. I mean, she's in hell, so,
so
she's no longer of the earth.
Okay, so in other words, she already has left the earth.
She has, because that's how you get to hell, right?
Right.
You can't be here anymore. You have to go one place or the other.
Or heaven.
She's no longer here. She's there.
Okay.
But, the readers have to read the book to learn, is she able to get Rourke out? Is she able to get herself out? And is there a way? No human has ever done that. Has she found a way?
Hence the reason why the title came about, Thy Kingdom Come.
Right. From the Our Father, from the Lord's Prayer.
Correct.
And that you will see why that's so important to the story. That title will have a lot of meaning in the when you read the final chapter of that book. Those words have a lot of meaning. Mm-hmm. And I thought because of that, I thought it was very appropriate to title the book Thy Kingdom Come.
Well, I set up a little of the plot on the blog, if you noticed, at WSBS.com, without trying to spoil anything. So hopefully my choice of words was correct.
You did. I read it. It was wonderful. You did a great job, and I think it helps readers understand what the story is all about. And it's a perfect conclusion to the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the third and final part, and it really, I think readers will be, after speaking with Karen last night, I believe all readers will be that satisfied and that moved.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, it's more like a very, deep spiritual effect when they actually pick up the book and read it from start to finish.
I think so, because I think, like my other books, it makes you think of yourself and some of the things that you've done in your life, good or bad, what you think about religion, spirituality, the human soul, what happens to us after. And everyone has different opinions about that, and I respect all opinions, and I think there are truths in all religions. This sort of explores that. It's not about one particular religion or lack of religion. It's really about the human soul in trying to connect the human soul to the universal energy force for the higher good.
I noticed on your bio that these stories inspire readers of all ages. So the younger crowd also is picking up copies of this book, and they're planning to read it as well. I mean, I know you have a fan base on the 50-plus crowd and around that area. But do the younger people actually want to learn more about this trilogy and how Raina Smith ticks when it comes to writing on pen and paper?
I think so. I think my books are for 18-plus, certainly not younger than that.
Okay.
I don't think they would comprehend the profound ideas in the books, but 18-plus, and I think I have readers in their 30s and 40s, both genders, who really appreciate the content.
Well, I'm halfway done with your previous effort, The Vampire.
Yep, that came out last October. I'm very proud of The Vampire. It's vampire season now.
That's right. That's why we're bringing it up over here. And I pretty much got a copy of this book. And with my schedule, I can't just sit down in one sitting to finish it. And I would love to, because so far what I've been reading regarding that Battle Dracula Rex, and he's terrorizing the city by the sea of Newport, Rhode Island, and he's not exactly a nice guy, too. I mean, if you cross into his ugly side, so to speak. But have you been still getting positive reviews about this particular effort? Because this is not part of the trilogy.
Right, that's a separate novel. I had to take a break from writing Thy Kingdom Come. I was halfway done, and I'm like, I just need a break. I need to do something else. So I wrote The Vampire all the way through and then returned to Thy Kingdom Come. But, yeah, The Vampire was extremely popular, still is. Vampire genre is super popular. People really connected with Rex because he's a little bit of a vigilante. He doesn't go out and just kill anyone. He only kills bad people. So he'll read the newspaper or watch the news, and he'll find out who are the bad people in society, who are the corrupt politicians, who are the bank robbers, who are the child molesters, the animal abusers, and then he will go after them. So it's sort of kind of fun to follow Rex and see who he goes after next. I think people really enjoyed that. He's dapper, he's handsome, he's sexy. Women love Rex. I get emails to this day saying, "Oh my God, I am in love with Rex," and I think that's great because I'm in love with Rex too. And he's a great character, and it's set in Newport, which has a lot of rich history.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was a fun book to write. I really love that book. I really, really love it, and I'm glad readers do too.
All right, let me pose this question about Rex. If somebody in the realm of showbiz were to play him and they turn this into a movie, who would you like to see in the title role?
Well, I wrote this character for Mads Mikkelsen. I'm not sure if you're familiar with. He's from Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
He played Hannibal in NBC TV's.
Oh,
Yep. So him. He was in a James Bond movie. He played Le Chiffre. He was in that movie Polar, and some other recent movies. So he's the guy. He's the only one that could play Rex. And if not, I don't know, maybe Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. But Mads Mikkelsen, I wrote it for him specifically.
all right, there you go. Raina's take on who should play the title role of the vampire on the old silver screen. And would you want that to happen one of these days, to see the trilogy or the vampire back to life on the silver screen, even though you do give it life on pencil and paper? Would you just want to see one of your books as a visual?
I would like to see all of my books made into movies. I mean, that would be the greatest thing ever, because when I write my books, I see these scenes in my mind playing out as if it was a movie. And it's my job to take those scenes that I see, hear, smell, feel, and describe it on paper so that the reader can then feel, see, smell, hear everything I do in my mind. That's quite a task. But I would absolutely love that. I think they would make remarkable movies. They would stir people's emotions, really make them think. And I think my books inspire people. And they're certainly entertaining.
Well, I'm already in awe over Rex and the whole vampire thing. Being it takes place in Newport also, and you keeping it local, and it's not a Transylvanian story, so to speak. You know what I mean? People can associate with that.
I love Newport personally, so when I'm in Newport, I'm very happy. I love the history. I love the mansions. I love the restaurants. I love the seaside. So it was just natural to give him a home there in Newport in a Gilded Age style mansion, and give him life there. And it's just, I really love that book. I really, really do.
Spoken like a true Rhode Islander over here. Now, Raina, let's set up a platform on how people can actually order these books or pick them up at their neighborhood bookstore. Let's have a rundown as to how they can get this entire trilogy and add the vampire to the mix, too.
Thanks, Ron. Yeah, I mean, anyone can go online. My books are all available on Amazon, paperback or Kindle. You can go to barnesandnoble.com, where it's available for Nook or Apple iBookstore for the downloadable iBooks for your iPad, iPod, iPhone. You can go to my website, rainasmith.com. There's a purchase page where you can just click a button and order it from whatever platform suits you. And that's about it. They're available everywhere.
All right. As you know, when you go to the blog at WSBS.com, I even put on a link so they can go to your website towards the end of the story, if you noticed.
I did, Ron, and I tested the link, and it worked. So I'm really happy about that. Thank you.
Yes, modern technology was not behaving badly upon the preparation of your blog last night.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. So just a click of a button, and you can order any one of my books.
Okay. Well, listen, you're just a remarkable, talented young lady, and I'm just so proud to be associated with you because, I followed you from the days of when you were a news reporter in Rhode Island television back in the days when I lived out there in eastern Connecticut and I was able to get those channels. And then when later on I saw that you left the business and you embarked on this particular journey, I said, yeah, that's going to be cool to actually see Raina Smith publishing novels and, actually making a good job out of it as well. And like I said, I'm halfway done with The Vampire. Hopefully by the time we check in next time, I'll give you my full review on this for sure.
That would be great. I'd love to hear, and I'm so glad to hear that you're enjoying it. And as you know, you can always contact me if you have any questions or anything, and that's really wonderful. Thank you.
Well, you have become a friend of this radio station, my dear, and you are welcome to partake in further Saturday morning chats. And again, go over to my blog at WSBS.com, click on Raina's website, find out a lot more about this native Rhode Islander who is just doing so well in the realm of literature, and I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate your kind words. I appreciate you having me on your radio program, and I hope your listeners enjoyed this segment as I did, so thank you so much.
Well, we enjoyed having you from start to finish, my dear, and you take good care. Much good luck on your future endeavors, and definitely, by all means, we are looking forward to getting an update as to how Thy Kingdom Come is doing at bookstores nationwide, and hopefully one of these days you can migrate to our neck of the woods and do an autograph session or two. Our listeners would love that.
I know. I would love that, too, and thanks for the invite, and you have a wonderful day, and I'll be sure to give you an update.
You got it. Thank you very much, Raina. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Ron. Take care.